Well, good morning. It's Tuba Billy. So apparently Trump is going to be arrested on Tuesday? Question mark? I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. He called for protests to take back our nation, which I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of like, well, let's just burn it down and see what happens. Because, gosh, our country, America, is so far gone. There's very little that is recognizable from what it used to be. And we've got government pretty much literally in every aspect of our lives. Not a day goes by that you can't think about it because it's so in your face, so divisive. But do I think he should be calling for protests? No, because that's the left's playbook. And I don't think he's, the conservative savior by any means, savior of the nation. I don't know. All I know is that according to scriptures that all nations will be gathered against the followers of Christ, the Church of the Lamb. And who do I think is the Church of the Lamb? Well, I used to think that, it would all culminate, like we'd all gather together in one great, huge Christian church, and then everyone else. So it'd be the Christians against the world. But then the more that I read, the more that I realize and understand and see what's going on, I think it is going to be divided into two general churches. And when you think of a church, it's a gathering of people with like-minded beliefs, interests, and stuff like that. And so now my thinking is saying, oh, well, instead of it being the Christians versus the world, I think it's going to be more of people who believe in freedom of choice versus those who want to control. It's freedom versus control. And if you boil it down, that is what all the divisions come to. Freedom versus control. I mean, think about guns. Freedom to keep and bear arms versus gun control. They don't really call it gun control anymore because, well, that didn't go too well. They call it gun safety, common sense gun regulation. There's some gravel on the road. I can't see. Gosh. It's very cold, so I've got a few jackets on and I can't turn my head all the way. And I've got a sunburn because I was outside a lot yesterday. But anyway, even down to, speech. A lot of people want to silence any opposing points of view, any views. And then there are many who say, let everyone speak. even if their points of view are horrible. Then, let's say for abortion's sake, because this is a sticky one. You know, freedom of choice versus control. Now, when you boil it down, it seems like the pro-choice people would be more towards freedom. But when you look at the origins of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, I think was her name, one of her main goals was the genocide of blacks. She wanted to promote this abortion to blacks. They even had strategies to get black preachers on board so that people would listen to them. So, boil it down, it is still about control. And they say, oh, you know, freedom to, you know, exercise your sexual freedoms, your liberations, or whatever. Now, freedom doesn't mean that you can do whatever it is that you want. There are guidelines, there are rules, there are laws in place for a reason. Some of them are, you know, laws of man, some are laws of God. And the power of procreation is best kept within the bonds of matrimony. I mean, statistics and science backs that up. I mean, children are more likely to succeed if they're born to a stable mother and father. That's a given. That's really not debatable. That is proven time and time and time again. So if you want to, you know, argue, you know, pro-choice or pro-life, I say pro-life, because it's come to the point where, you know, abortion in particular was, they kept pushing, you know, legal, safe, and rare. That was the call when they were wanting abortions. And now it's basically on demand. It's another form of birth control. There are dozens of forms of birth control out there. And if you're low income, you can get them for free. Condoms, birth control, and whatnot. But when you start to use abortion as, you know, your free ticket to do whatever you want with your promiscuity and just erase any repercussions, that's it. Bill Maher said it best. You know, he said, I don't know if he said it best, but he said it this way. He's like, you know, the pro-life people don't hate women. They don't. They just think that it's murder. And he said, and you know, it is. It's murder, but I'm okay with that. That's Bill Maher saying that. You know, Bill Maher's had quite a few instances lately where he's kind of woken up. He's still very liberal, but I wouldn't say he's a raging leftist. But yeah, it's murder. Bill Burr even related this way. He said, you know, I'm all about a woman's right to choose, but let's boil this down. Let's relate it to baking a cake. You know, if you just mixed all these ingredients and put this batter in the oven, and if you come out and rip it out of the oven, throw it across the floor, you're gonna get mad, right? It's like, you just ruined my cake. It's like, oh, it wasn't a cake yet. Well, yeah, but it was gonna be. Same way with a baby. It may not be a baby yet, but it's gonna be. Anyway, I got off tangent about abortion. But anyway, so it's all about freedom versus control. And in the Never-Ending Story, which my kids watched recently, there's the villain Gamork. It's the big wolf is trying to help the nothing, the destruction of everything, making people lose hope. Because he says, people who have lost hope are easy to control. And those who have control have all the power. So it's all about control. It's all about more power. Don't let them have that power. But by all means, don't do it forcefully, because that's exactly what the left wants. Be excellent to each other. Tuba Billy, signing out. God be with you till we meet again.